Bernie Sanders faced a crushing defeat in South Carolina, losing by almost 50 points to Hillary Clinton, and already people have started to lose their minds. But with this happening, many people are once again asking, can Bernie Sanders even win? While Super Tuesday is looming, many states are going to hold primaries and caucuses. Polling data shows that Clinton has a serious lead in many of these states. In fact, one of the only states where Bernie Sanders has a real commanding lead is Vermont, where he's from. But I just saw a great statement from Amy Goodman, who said that the media should not be reporting on polls, they should be reporting on the issues. And it makes a whole lot of sense. If the media just consistently tells you who they think is going to win, you don't actually learn anything about why you should vote for any of the candidates. So with that, I'm going to take a step back and show you guys the PolitiFact file for Bernie Sanders, Hillary Clinton, and Donald Trump. Now, the interesting thing that I found with Bernie Sanders' PolitiFact file is that what he says tends to be true, but it's almost slanted in that he says a lot of things that are actually wrong. So again, while what he says tends to be mostly true, there are a few statements he's made that have been mostly false or factually incorrect, which may be surprising because the people I talk to who support Bernie Sanders are absolutely convinced the man is the bastion of honesty, intellect, and facts. So here's a mostly false statement. We work longer hours than any people in the industrialized world, including the Japanese. According to PolitiFact, we don't. We're not number one, but we are up there. Another statement, which seems to obviously be false considering it's very absolute, Bernie Sanders said, not one Republican has the guts to recognize that climate change is real. Just false. Just false. It's too absolute. Now, I will say, I am cherry-picking statements just to make a point that Bernie Sanders is not infallible. Many of the things he says are outright incorrect. And actually, his mostly true statements outweigh his actual true statements. But there are other candidates in this race. Let's take a look at Hillary Clinton and see how her file is. She holds a higher percentage of true statements than Bernie Sanders, and she holds a higher percentage of things that tend to be true versus tend to be wrong. However, Bernie Sanders has a 0% pants on fire, meaning it's likely he's never tried to deceive the public. He may have just been wrong. Whereas Hillary Clinton actually has 2 pants on fire statements. A few statements from Hillary Clinton that are absolutely incorrect. She says, I am the only candidate on either side who has laid out a specific plan about what I would do to defeat ISIS. According to PolitiFact, it is the longest and most detailed, but certainly she is not the only candidate to do this. And here is the big one. Hillary Clinton said, ISIS is going to people showing videos of Donald Trump insulting Islam and Muslims in order to recruit more radical jihadists. And there's no evidence of that. Again, I'll say I'm cherry-picking these quotes to make a point about politicians who lie. Not surprising, right? But I've got some bad news for you Trump supporters, because here's where it gets a little fun. Let's take a look at Trump's PolitiFact file. This may not surprise many of you. This may make many of you angry. But according to PolitiFact, Donald Trump is mostly wrong. In fact, most of what he says tends to be false or not true, and he has a 20% pants on fire rating. Why is this? Why are the things that Donald Trump saying wrong? Well, here's one false statement Trump made. When Mitt Romney chose Paul Ryan as his vice presidential running mate, that was the end of Romney's chances to win. But according to PolitiFact, polls show that Romney stayed steady, or even went up. Don't believe the phony numbers when you hear 4.9 and 5% unemployment. The number's probably 28, 29, as high as 35. In fact, I even heard recently 42%. According to PolitiFact, his pants are on fire, and that is not true. Why are these candidates especially, considered to be telling untruths? Well, in the case of Bernie Sanders, it seems like in many instances, he's just wrong. It doesn't seem like there's an intent to deceive, he just doesn't always have his facts right, which is why he has mostly true for most of his statements that tend to be right. Hillary Clinton has mostly true as well, but more true statements among what she says. And finally, Donald Trump outright seems to be wrong or lying. Now, is there a political basis for these statements? Is there a reason PolitiFact might be saying Donald Trump is a liar? The first thought is to check who owns PolitiFact, and that's the Tampa Bay Times. And when you dig a little deeper, you can see the Tampa Bay Times is owned by the Times Publishing Company, which is owned by the Poynter Institute, a nonprofit journalism school. So it's safe to say that many of these people who are making these statements about whether or not these politicians are lying don't have a whole lot of skin in the game, but I know most people tend not to trust the establishment, so you can take it for what it is and you can choose what to believe what you want, but one thing is for certain. If you respect the source, then it looks like Bernie tends to be wrong, but mostly tells the truth. Hillary Clinton, about the same thing, and Donald Trump is just lying. But is that really surprising? I think a lot of people are going to be really angry because I know a lot of you support Donald Trump. But Donald Trump is expected to win. Will Bernie Sanders pull ahead? I think this is going to be a really interesting Tuesday. So, thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TimCast. Make sure to stay tuned. More videos to come out this week, and I'll have something up for you guys following Super Tuesday. Again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.